Started. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning. So we have been talking about the notion of stability for state space models. Let us continue with the same topic. Just to summarize what we were discussing last time, I told you that there are two notions of stability as far as state space models is concerned, or in general about systems, linear time-related systems. So we have got something known as Bibo stability, which refers to the stability of input-output pair. And this Bibo stability can be evaluated directly from the transfer function models by observing the location of poles in the state space. If the poles are located exclusively in the left half of the S-plane, then you say that the system is Bibo stable. Then there is another notion of stability. The contradiction we have seen last time, for that we have to introduce one more notion of stability, that is impulse response stability. Or what you call asymptotic stability. This stability can be evaluated, asymptotic stability can be evaluated by observing the location of eigenvalues. If the eigenvalues are located exclusively in the left half of the S-plane, all the eigenvalues, then the system is said to be asymptotically stable, or it is said to have impulse response stability. Now let's try to discuss this. What is this asymptotic stability? Let me first of all give you the definition of this. A system is said to be asymptotically stable if starting with any non-zero initial conditions the state vector asymptotically decays zero as time approaches infinity. So this is the definition of asymptotic stability. The system is said to be asymptotically stable if, starting with any non-zero initial conditions in the state space, the state vector asymptotically decays to zero as time approaches infinity. You know that a system may respond to initial conditions or to input or to both of them. Normally, जो dynamical system है, it can have non-zero initial conditions. There will be an input function, and the response of the system will be due to the initial conditions as well as due to the input. Now, if we assume the input to be zero, and we start with any non-zero initial conditions, and we just see the evolution of the state vector. If all the states, the state vector asymptotically decaying to zero means if all the states individually decay to zero as time approaches infinity, then the system is said to be asymptotically stable. You know that the stability of the system is governed by its transient response. If the transient response of the system just vanishes after some time, then we say that the system is stable. In case the transient response is increasing without bounds as time is increasing, the system is said to be unstable. Now, last time we have seen that Bibo stability actually implies the stability of input-output pair, and we have seen that some states of the system may not be may not be contributing to the input-output mapping. In the last time देखा था कि because of pole zero cancellations, there may be some states which are actually not what you call, you do not contribute to the input-output mapping. So even if that particular system is unstable, the system and other states which are contributing to the input-output mapping, they are stable, then you will find from the transfer function that the system is stable because the unstable pole will cancel out. But then if we see the stability from the eigenvalue viewpoint, you will find that there will be one eigenvalue which will be located in the right half of the S-plane, implying that the system is unstable. So as I told you last time, it appears to be a contradiction. Now we are trying to solve this contradictory result that we have obtained last time. For that, we are introducing two notions of stability. The first notion is Bibo stability, which actually responds to the stability of the input-output pair. That means given some input, if the output is stable, given some bounded input, which may be any bounded input, if you find that this output is stable, output remains bounded, you can just conclude that the system is stable. And we have seen that Bibo stability is directly related to the location of poles of the transfer function in the S-plane. तो वो जो contradiction हमने last time बताया था आपको, उसको solve करने के लिए we are introducing one more notion of stability, which is known as impulse response stability or asymptotic stability. It actually refers to the stability of each state individually, without actually seeing whether it is contributing to the input-output coupling or not. We are actually seeing whether each state is individually stable or not. If such is the case, we say that the system is asymptotically stable. So a system is said to be asymptotically stable if starting with any non-zero initial condition, the state vector asymptotically decays to zero as time approaches infinity. Okay, are you getting me? Is that clear? I need a response, at least one response.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are talking about asymptotic stability. Now, why do we call it impulse response stability also? Let me try to explain. What's an impulse input? This is T. Let's say this is RT input. This is an impulse input, isn't it? It's a delayed impulse. So what is the property of an impulse input? It is an ideal impulse. Practical impulses ऐसी नहीं होती हैं जो actual impulses. Can you give me some real life examples of impulses? Impulse inputs are also known as shock inputs. Yes, anybody can you give me some real life examples of impulses? Some real life examples of impulses are
गाड़ी को जब जंप स्टार्ट करते हैं,
yes,
गाड़ी को जब जंप स्टार्ट करते हैं,
so that can be considered to be an impulse. Is it?
I'm not sure.
No, it's not an
Sir,
impulse.
when a ball falls on the ground and then the impulsive force it gets.
What falls on the ground?
When a ball, I mean tennis ball, falls on ground, it gets an impulsive force.
No, that is something different. That is a reaction force. वो different चीज है. मैं different चीज के बारे में बता रहा हूँ आपको. मैं एक impulse function के बारे में बता रहा हूँ आपको. Impulse input basically, it actually, when you apply an impulse to the system, it's a very high input function which remains for an infinitesimally small period of time. Like it is there for some time delta t, where delta t tends to zero. But its amplitude, it's very high. Ideally, it is infinite. Some real life examples of impulses are like a lightning surge. And suddenly a lightning surge comes and actually has a huge energy within it. It remains for an infinitesimally small period of time. Similarly, earthquakes. इसी तरीके से there is something known as switching surge. किसी सिस्टम जिसमें वेरी हाई इंडक्टेंस हो, जब उसको स्विच ऑन किया जाता है तो स्विच ऑन के टाइम देयर occurs a phenomena within the system which is known as a switching surge. It actually results in a huge amount of energy being pumped into the system initially for a very small period of time. You will get to know it in your other courses, but I think with these first two you can easily correlate. You have actually witnessed them. Lightning surge as well as earthquake. So earthquake is something that comes for an infinitesimally small period of time, but it may have huge energy with it, which actually has the potential to damage the system, isn't it? So these are some real life examples of impulses. So I was talking about impulse response stability, and I'm trying to correlate this stability notion to impulse response. When you apply an impulse input to a system, you know that for a dynamical system, if you want to excite its dynamics, you have to apply some input. So my impulse function पर देख रहा हूँ system का response. You know, if the system is stable, so naturally because the system is dynamic, and when you apply an impulse input to it, it's bound to have some. Its transient is going to get excited. It is going to show some transient response. But this input after this infinitesimally small period of time, it goes to zero, isn't it? So if the system is stable, when you apply an impulse input to it, no doubt, naturally, obviously, it will show some transient response. But after that, the response should actually decay to zero as time approaches infinity if the system is stable. So if the impulse response of the system decays to zero as time approaches infinity, the system is said to be stable. But if the impulse response of the system increases without bounds, then the system is said to be unstable. Are you getting me or not? जैसे मान लो मैंने एक स्टेप इनपुट सिस्टम को अप्लाई किया, दिस इज टी एंड दिस इज आर टी. मैंने एक डायनामिकल सिस्टम को एक स्टेप इनपुट अप्लाई किया, तो अगर सिस्टम स्टेबल है, क्योंकि स्टेप इनपुट अप्लाई किया है और मैंने एट टाइम t इक्वल टू 0, इट्स नेचुरली गोइंग टू शो सम ट्रांजिएंट रिस्पांस बिकॉज़ इट्स अ डायनामिकल सिस्टम, and after some time if the system is stable, the transient is going to die down, and the system is going to follow the input, that is the command input. That means it's going to settle down at 1, or it may settle down somewhere else with some steady state error. जैसे मान लो सिस्टम का रिस्पांस कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है, the system response may be something like this, the system response may be something like this if the system is stable. But if the system is unstable, the system responses will be something like this. Are you getting me?
Yes.
This is with respect to step input. अब मैं इसी सिस्टम को impulse input अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ, मान लो मैं टाइम t इक्वल टू 0 पे ही अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ, यहीं पे मैं एक impulse अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ. Naturally, the system is going to show some its dynamics is going to get excited, transient response दिखाई गई है. अगर सिस्टम स्टेबल होगा, क्योंकि इनपुट जो है यहाँ पे मैं yt भी प्लॉट कर रहा हूँ, इस पे आउटपुट भी प्लॉट कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि जो इनपुट है ये बाद में 0 हो गया, तो अगर सिस्टम स्टेबल है, it should follow the input, the transient is going to get excited, and after some time the system states are the system का जो ये है response है वो decay हो जाना चाहिए to infinity. It should go like this. As time t approaches infinity, it should decay to 0. So if this thing happens, if it asymptotically goes to 0 as time approaches infinity, the system is said to be stable. So if the impulse of the system decays to 0 as time approaches infinity, the system is said to be stable, asymptotically stable, or impulse response stable. But if the impulse response of the system increases without bounds as time progresses, the system is said to be unstable. In some cases, the impulse response may remain, it neither decays to 0 nor increases without bounds, it may remain within some limits. In that case, the system is said to be marginally stable. But mind it, a marginally stable from control system viewpoint is an unstable system. Are you getting me? Because a marginally stable system also doesn't come in some steady state. It doesn't follow the input. So from control system viewpoint, a marginally stable system is considered to be an unstable system. Is that clear? So let me rewrite the definition of stability or impulse response stability or asymptotic stability. A system is said to be asymptotically stable if and only if its impulse response decays to 0 as time approaches infinity. The better way of writing this definition is the previous one that I had written. Or a system is said to be asymptotically stable if starting with, I repeat it, starting with non-zero initial conditions the state vector decays to 0 as time approaches infinity. Are you getting me? Speaking otherwise, we can say the system is said to be asymptotically unstable if and only if, or if starting with any non-zero initial condition. Mind it, the system has to be stable. If it is stable, it has to be stable for, if you start with any non-zero initial condition in the state space. If starting with any non-zero initial condition, the state vector does not decay but increases without bounds as time progresses. Is that clear? Clear? Is that clear to you? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
तो बताओ यार सही है कि नहीं, कहीं पर प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं हो रहा है? Is this definition clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The system is said to be asymptotically unstable if you start with any non-zero initial condition. The state vector does not decay but increases without bounds as time progresses. So this is the definition of asymptotic stability and asymptotic instability. So we have introduced another notion of stability, that is asymptotic stability or impulse response stability. Asymptotic stability. And for a system to be asymptotically stable, its eigenvalues must lie exclusively in the left half of the S. The eigenvalues of a system must lie exclusively in the left half of the S-plane for the system to be stable. That means eigenvalues must have, or we can say that is, the eigenvalues must have negative real parts. Negative real parts. Because you know that the transient response of a system is governed by the eigenvalues of the system. For a state space model, for a system to be asymptotically stable, we are actually talking about the stability of each individual state. And in order to see that stability, we actually have to see the transient response of the system. We actually have to excite the dynamics of the system and see whether the transient response of each individual state is decaying to zero as time approaches infinity or not. If this transient response of each individual state decays to zero as time approaches infinity, the system is said to be asymptotically stable. And the condition for that is that all the eigenvalues of the system must lie exclusively in the left half of the S-plane. That is, the eigenvalues must have negative real parts. In that case, the system will be asymptotically stable. Is that clear? Can you reconcile the what we call notions of Bibo stability and asymptotic stability? I'll show you some numericals, and this thing will become clear to you. But the theory-wise, it should be clear to you. So a system is asymptotically stable if some of the eigenvalues of the system are located in the right half of the S-plane, the system will be asymptotically unstable because some states in that case will increase without bounds as time approaches infinity. Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
Now let's say you have a state space model, x dot equal to ax plus bu and y equal to cx plus du. You convert it into a transfer function model. You get gs is equal to c si minus a inverse of b plus d. Let us say that the order of the system is n. Order of system means n means there are n states, isn't it? Once you convert it into the transfer function, the order will be governed by the degree of the denominator polynomial of the transfer function. जब हमने transfer function इसकी obtain की, transfer function obtain करने में, if there are no pole zero cancellations, there are no pole zero cancellations, in that case, the degree of the denominator polynomial of the transfer function will be, क्या होगा उसका degree of denominator polynomial of transfer function?
And sir.
It will be n, isn't it? In that particular case, set of poles of the transfer function will be simply equal to set of eigenvalues of the system, isn't it? तो इस केस में stability, when you evaluate the Bibo stability, that will imply asymptotic stability also, isn't it? Because the set of poles of the transfer function will be same as the set of eigenvalues of the system. So the system will be, in that case, in this particular case, Bibo stability will imply asymptotic stability and vice versa, isn't it? In that case, Bibo stability will imply asymptotic stability and vice versa. However, if there are some pole zero cancellation, in that case, what will happen? What will be the degree of, or what will be the degree of denominator polynomial of the transfer function? Yes.
n minus p.
N minus the number of cancellations, है ना? Degree of denominator polynomial of the transfer function will be equal to n minus number of cancellations. Isn't it? In that particular case, the set of poles of the transfer function will be a subset of set of eigenvalues of the transfer function. Sorry, eigenvalues of the system. Isn't it? So in that particular case, if the system is Bibo stable, maybe the system may be asymptotically unstable. So in general, Bibo stability does not imply asymptotic stability, but asymptotic stability implies Bibo stability. Are you getting me? जैसे मान लो poles जो system के हैं, they are located at -1, -2, and eigenvalues are located at -1, -2, -3. This system is Bibo stable as well as asymptotically stable. लेकिन ये -3 वाला जो eigenvalue है ये cancel out हो गया है. It has got cancelled. So if I evaluate only the asymptotic stability of the system, and if I find that the system is asymptotically stable, that will always imply Bibo stability. But the reverse is not the case. Bibo stability will not imply asymptotic stability, because जैसे इसमें जो तीसरा वाला eigenvalue है, incidentally ये stable है. Had the eigenvalues been something like this, -1, -2, and 3. So this system is asymptotically unstable. Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
This system is asymptotically unstable. So if I evaluate the Bibo stability of the system, I cannot say with guarantee whether the system will be asymptotically stable or unstable. I will have to evaluate it. But if I evaluate the asymptotic stability, then if it is asymptotically stable, it will imply Bibo stability as well. Are you getting me? Is that clear?
Yes,
But
yes,
asymptotically unstable system doesn't tell me about whether the system is Bibo stable or not. जैसे ये asymptotically unstable system है, मैंने इसकी asymptotic stability evaluate की, ये asymptotically unstable आया, I cannot say with guarantee whether the system will be Bibo stable or unstable. So asymptotic stability implies Bibo stability. Is that clear?
yes, sir.
Asymptotic, or I can write it like this: a system which is asymptotically stable will be Bibo stable as well. But a system which is asymptotically unstable may be Bibo stable or unstable. That maybe we don't know which particular pole has cancelled out. So stability imply होती है. If system which is asymptotically stable, it will be Bibo stable as well. लेकिन Bibo stability के बारे में आप cannot. A system which is Bibo stable, it may or may not be asymptotically stable. Are you getting me? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So how
Sure.
Bibo stability now? If you have been given a system and you have to evaluate, assess its Bibo stability, you will obtain the transfer function of the system and obtain the location of its poles, and then you'll be able to tell me whether the system is Bibo stable or not. और अगर आपको सिस्टम की asymptotic stability देखनी है, तो आपको उसका आइगन वैल्यूज, उसके आइगन वैल्यूज इवैल्यूएट करके देखने और देखने के आइगन वैल्यूज कहाँ पे लोकेटेड है और उसकी बेसिस पे आप उसकी एसिम्प्टोटिक स्टेबिलिटी इवैल्यूएट कर सकते हो. Do you get me? Now, for a system wherein there are no pole zero cancellations, you can evaluate anything, whether you evaluate the poles or the eigenvalues, the same information will be conveyed through them. But if the system is, there are some pole zero cancellations, in that particular case, you will have to assess each stability separately in order to see whether the system is Beebo stable or Beebo unstable or asymptotically stable or asymptotically unstable. तो वो चीज assess करनी पड़ेगी इसमें. तो ये चीज हम थोड़ा सा clear करते हैं, एक numerical ले लेते हैं. We'll take a numerical. Write down. Consider the system x dot equal to 1, 1, 0, 0, minus 2, 1, 0, 0, and minus 1 into x plus 0, 1, minus 2 u, and y is equal to 1, 0, 0, x. A part is find the eigenvalues of A and from there determine the stability of the system. B part is find the transfer function model and from there determine the stability of the system. And the C part is, are the two results same? If not, why? All the background knowledge has been given to you for solving this problem. Now, let's solve this problem, get the eigenvalues of the system. So get me the eigenvalues of the system.
Sir, 1, minus 1, and minus 2.
1, minus 1, and minus 2. How have you evaluated the eigenvalues?
Sir, lambda I minus A is equal to 0.
Mathematically, अगर आप थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्ट हो ना, it's an upper triangular matrix, है ना? ये जो A matrix
Yes,
इसमें है
sir.
ना, it's an upper triangular matrix. For an upper triangular matrix, the diagonal entries are directly the eigenvalues. Okay. This is the property of these triangular matrices. So anyway, इसके eigenvalues क्या है आपको? Eigenvalues are
1 minus 2 minus
1, minus 2, and minus. अब बताओ stability system की.
unstable.
हाँ?
Asymptotically unstable, sir.
Unstable, है ना? Asymptotically unstable. सही है? because one eigenvalue is located in the right half of the S plane. तो उसकी वजह से जो ट्रांजिएंट है उस पर्टिकुलर eigenvalue की वजह से this is actually ये जो eigenvalues हैं they also give information about the modes of vibration of the system. So this particular eigenvalue is going to increase without bounds. Now you have to obtain the transfer function. ठीक है, ट्रांसफर फंक्शन के लिए आपको फॉर्मूला तो पता है, लेकिन मैं आपको 2 स्टेप्स में ट्रांसफर फंक्शन आप इसकी ऑब्टेन करोगे. You actually have the system x dot equal to, because I want to show you something, x dot equal to ax plus bu, then you have y equal to cx plus du. d तो है नहीं इसमें. अब इसमें जब हम ट्रांसफर फंक्शन ऑब्टेन करते हैं, जो हमने फॉर्मूला वो ऑब्टेन किया था ट्रांसफर फंक्शन का, g is equal to c si minus a inverse of b plus d, वो हमने कैसे किया था? You apply Laplace here. We have already done it. I just want to show you something else. You apply Laplace transform, assuming zero initial condition. This case में क्या आएगा? This will be sxs is equal to axs plus bus. है ना? Is that okay? So that will be xs is equal to, or it will be like this, si minus a into xs is equal to bus. So you have xs upon us is equal to si minus a inverse of b. पहला भी इवैल्यूएट करो. Get me this first. Si minus a inverse of b. Si minus a inverse of b कैसे ऑब्टेन करेंगे हम? Adjoint of Si में Laplace ट्रांसफॉर्म मेथड दिखाया ना मैंने आपको इसका. This will actually be xs upon us is equal to, will be adjoint of si minus a into b upon determinant of si minus a. तो करो ये, बताओ मुझे इसका क्या रहा, ये आंसर क्या रहा इसका. So this is actually,
सर -2 वाला फैक्टर कैंसिल हो जा रहा है.
मुझे बताना पूरा इसका वैल्यू क्या है.
सर इनवर्स बताया सर पूरा
पूरा कैलकुलेट करके पूरा.
सर इनवर्स है इसका 1/s - 1.
नहीं ये
सर
पूरा एक्सेस है.
पूरा सर ट्रांसफर फंक्शन बोले.
एक्सेस अपॉन यूएस खाली, अभी उसको सी से मल्टीप्लाई नहीं करना है. ट्रांसफर फंक्शन बेसिकली होता है ना सी si minus a inverse of b.
यस सर.
ऐसे होता है ना. अभी मैं आपको इतना इवैल्यूएट करने के लिए कह रहा हूँ. si minus a inverse of b, मतलब इतना सा.
सर वो आएगा सर 1/s - 1 into s - 2 s plus 2.
1 minus s minus 1 into s plus 2
-2 अपॉन सर रो वाइज आएगा ना.
ब्रैकेट में ये
सॉरी
बनाओ,
कॉलम वाइज.
ऐसे
हाँ
बनाओ.
सर.
हाँ बताओ.
सर ये मैट्रिक्स के अंदर रहेगा ना सर. ये चीज जो बोला हूँ मैं ना, वो मैट्रिक्स के अंदर रहेगा सर.
मैट्रिक्स के अंदर आएगा ये.
सर ए बी सी 3 पार्ट आएगा ना. ए तो है नहीं उसमें सर. आप सॉरी सर, सी तो है नहीं उसमें.
हाँ इसका
तो
देखो,
सर
इसका साइज क्या है बेसिकली. दिस इज n क्रॉस n.
यस सर, वो तो हमारा आगे वाला है. यस सर. तो n क्रॉस 1 बनेगा.
मतलब 3 क्रॉस 1 कॉलम होगा, है ना.
यस सर.
तो बताओ मुझे फिर क्या होगा, वो मैट्रिक्स क्या आएगा.
कॉलम में सर आएगा.
हाँ बताओ.
सर -1 अपॉन
-1 अपॉन
s - 1 s plus 2.
s minus 1 into s plus 2.
सर दूसरा 1/s plus 2.
1 upon
s plus 2
हाँ
-2 by s plus 2 का होल स्क्वायर सर.
-2 by
s plus 2 का होल स्क्वायर.
लास्ट वाला
नहीं सर, उसी में है, मतलब ऐड नहीं किया हूँ. मतलब सर लास्ट -2 by s plus 2 का होल स्क्वायर।
s+2 का उसका।
यस सर। सर इससे तो मतलब भी नहीं है ना सर, वो तो 1 0 0 करेंगे तो नीचे के दोनों तो जीरो ही हो जाएंगे सर।
दैट्स ओके, वो आप छोड़ो ना फिलहाल, मुझे ये इवैल्यूएट करके बताओ एग्जैक्टली क्या है।
एग्जैक्टली सर वही -1 अपॉन s - 1 s+2 आएगा।
वो पहला वाला आया।
हाँ ऊपर वाला ही आएगा ना सर, क्योंकि
ये
सर अभी तो
वो तो c से मल्टीप्लाई करके आएगा ना।
हाँ तो सर
ये
इसको
पहले
ऐड
बताओ।
कर दे रहा है s+2 का s+2 -2 सर, ये हो जाएगा s डिवाइडेड बाई s+2 का होल स्क्वायर।
दूसरी टर्म क्या है?
दूसरी टर्म सर हम बता रहे हैं सर आपको, s+2 का होल स्क्वायर 2s s+2 s डिवाइडेड बाई s+2 का होल स्क्वायर सर।
आर यू श्योर इट्स कमिंग लाइक दिस?
श्योर सर, श्योर।
तीसरा वाला?
तीसरा -2 बाई s+2।
सभी लोग कंफर्म करो ये। नहीं इवैल्यूएट करके तो मुझे गलत कर रहे हो आप कहीं पे। ये फिर से चेक करो, आपने गलत किया कहीं पे।
ओके सर आई विल चेक।
हाँ चेक इट once again। बाकी लोग सो गए क्या?
Sir, I got a different value.
यू टेल मी।
1 by s minus 1 into s plus 2 minus 2 by s plus 2 into s square minus 1. The second one will be 0 and the third one will be minus 2 by s plus 2.
क्या? क्या बोल रहे हो आप?
हेलो सॉरी सर, वहाँ पे s+1 into s+2 है सर, वहाँ पे एक जगह मिस्टेक हो गई। s प्लस s+1 into s+2 है सर वहाँ पे।
बताओ क्या है?
सर इनवर्स मैट्रिक्स ही लिख लीजिए आप, हम बता रहे हैं आपको, फिर आप मल्टीप्लाई कर लीजिएगा एग्जैक्टली।
मैं क्यों करूं, तुम क्यों नहीं करोगे?
सर अच्छा कर रहे हैं सर आप।
सर टोटल ट्रांसफर फंक्शन निकाल लिया हमने।
क्या आ रही है?
सर s-1 डिवाइडेड बाय s-1 into s+2 into s+3 पोल जीरो कैंसिलेशन हो रही है s-1 पे।
तो वही तो बता रहा हूँ ना क्या आ रहा है, फिर फाइनली पोजिटिव कैंसिल करके क्या आ रही है ट्रांसफर।
1 डिवाइडेड बाय s+2 into s+3।
3 का तो सवाल ही नहीं है इसमें, 3 कैसे आएगा? इसके तो
सर s+1 सॉरी s+1 1 डिवाइडेड बाय s+2 into s+1।
1 डिवाइडेड बाय s+1 into s+2। सी लेके किया आपने?
यस सर सारा तीनों मल्टीप्लिकेशन की।
You have obtained this transfer function actually. GS is equal to C SI minus A inverse of B. क्या आ रहा है वो? बताओ। Yes, what is the transfer function?
Sir, 1 divided by s plus 1 into s plus 2.
1 divided by s plus 1 into s plus. So where are the poles of this transfer function located?
Sir, -1 and -2.
-1 and -2. So what do you conclude about the stability of the system?
Sir, Bibo stable.
The system is Bibo stable. The system is Bibo stable, but asymptotically
Asymptotically unstable, sir.
unstable. Can you see that the set of poles is a subset of the set of eigenvalues?
Yes, sir.
And system is Bibo stable, but it's asymptotically unstable. So Bibo stability does not imply asymptotic stability, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And if the system is asymptotically unstable, you cannot make any conclusions about Bibo stability. लेकिन अगर सिस्टम एसिम्प्टोटिकली स्टेबल हो उस केस में आप बोल सकते हो कि सिस्टम बीबो स्टेबल है। यहाँ पर मैं जो चीज आपको दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा था वो ये था, जब आपने यहाँ पे एक्स अपॉन यू एस ऑब्टेन किया तो वाई एस ऑब्टेन करने के लिए आपको इसको सी से मल्टीप्लाई करना है सामने, है ना? ये ना, दिस इज एक्चुअली वाई एस अपॉन यू एस. So what is xs is equal to, ये आपका सही है जो भी आपने किया. मैंने आपको स्टेप वाइज क्यों करने को कहा था, because when you obtain xs upon us, actually the transfer function is what? Transfer function is ys upon us, and the formula for that is c si minus a inverse of b. c, ये जो si minus a inverse of b है ये बेसिकली xs अपॉन us है ना?
Yes, sir.
And when you multiply, pre-multiply it by c, you get the transfer function of the system. So basically ये वाला जो function है ये हमें input to state coupling दिखाता है. This particular function shows us the input to state coupling. और जो next वाली जब हम ये actually ऐसा है ना, ys upon us. So this is basically the input to output, the input to output coupling. Input is us and output is ys. लेकिन state space models की जब हम बात करते हैं, the coupling is through the states. So there is one coupling from input to the states and another coupling from states to the output. Are you getting me? Another coupling from states to the output. तो ये जब हम next property systems की पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, there is controllability and observability. It is related to that. Okay, I will come to it later on once I will discuss that controllability and observability. फिलहाल आप डायरेक्टली जैसे आप कर रहे हो वैसे करो. ये ट्रांसफर फंक्शन आपने ऐसे ऑब्टेन किया और आपको इसकी जो पोल्स हैं वो मिले at -1 and -2. So the system is Bibo stable. So then the third part was telling you, are the two results same? No, the two results are not same, isn't it? The system is Bibo stable but asymptotically unstable, and you already know the reason why this is the case. Because the eigenvalues, there is a pole zero cancellation, and the stable जो unstable जो eigenvalue है वो cancel out हो रहा है और वो input output coupling में दिख ही नहीं रहा है. That's why from the input output coupling the system appears to be stable, but actually the system is asymptotically unstable. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear to everybody? तो जब भी आपको पोल जीरो कैंसलेशन मिले तो उस केस में आपको स्टेबिलिटी सेपरेटली इवैल्यूएट करनी होती है. Bibo stability separately, and Bibo stability, as we have seen, that this can be evaluated from the transfer function, and asymptotic stability you can actually evaluate it from by observing the location of the eigenvalues of the system in there. Is that clear? So I guess the notion of stability is clear too. ये मैंने अभी पेंडिंग ही रखा है जो मैं आपको स्टेट टू इनपुट कपलिंग और आउटपुट टू स्टेट कपलिंग बता रहा था. I will come back to it later on. फिलहाल इस न्यूमेरिकल में you can directly proceed like this in order to obtain the transfer function. You can directly obtain the transfer function through the conventional method that we have been doing. Clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this numerical is clear. Now let's move to another very important concept, that is controllability. And this controllability will lead us to the concept of stabilizability also. That means if the system is unstable, can we stabilize it? That is stabilizability. So वो property dependent है इस दूसरी important property पे जिसको controllability कहते हैं. Controllability basically है क्या? You have a system x dot equal to ax plus bu and y is equal to cx plus du. This is the state equation. And this is the output equation. The property of controllability can be evaluated by observing the state equation only. You don't need the output equation for that. So what does this property of controllability tell us? Actually, this u, this is the control input. This is the input. जैसे मान लीजिए आपका एक सिस्टम है जो मैंने लास्ट टाइम इसकी ब्लॉक डायग्राम बनाई थी, कुछ ऐसे बनाई थी मैंने. This is an integrator here. This is x dot. This is x. So x dot is equal to ax plus bu. This is a, and this is like this. This is plus, and this is plus here. This is u. This is the control input. So x dot equal to a x plus, and there is b also here. Bu. Is that okay? X dot equal to ax plus bu. This is the state space. This is x1 and this is x2. On a two-dimensional board, we can show only two-dimensional state space, but in general, you have to assume, you have to visualize an n-dimensional state space, where the states actually evolve in an n-dimensional space. The property of controllability gives you an idea about the extent to which you can control the dynamics of a particular system through control input. Basically, states जो है ये internal states है system की, और आप इन states को control करना चाहते हो through this input, through the control input that you apply to the system. If it is possible to control each state independently with the help of this control input and do whatever you like with it, then the system is controllable. That means you start with some initial position of the states, and this initial position can be anywhere in the state space. I am not putting any restriction on what can be the possible initial conditions. If I start with anywhere in the state space, let's say you start with here, this is x0, this is the initial state, and you want to approach any other random position in the state space, how do the state variables move in the state space? State space में state variables move कैसे करते हैं?
State trajectory.
नहीं, state trajectory तो बनती है, लेकिन मूव कैसे करता है? अगर एक किसी भी पर्टिकुलर पोजीशन में सिस्टम है जो कि स्टेडी स्टेट नहीं है, स्टेडी स्टेट में अगर है तो वहीं पर रहेगा, क्योंकि स्टेडी स्टेट की डेफिनेशन ही वही है कि अगर सिस्टम स्टेडी स्टेट में है, इट रिमेन्स देयर. But if the system is at some other position which is not the steady state position, and you are applying no input to the system, in that particular case, the system will respond with this, due to these initial conditions, due to these non-zero initial conditions, and if the system is stable, it will go on and approach zero. But other way of changing the what you call position of the state vector is by applying the input. You apply the input to the system, the state vector is going to evolve. The state vector is going to change. It will move here, it will move here, like this, like this, like this, and it will keep on moving in the state space till you apply the input. Now, as I told you last time, if you have been given the input and the initial conditions, and then you are evaluating the evolution of x, that's an analysis problem. You are just solving this differential equation. But the control problem is something different. Control problem is that given the initial state and given some final state, final desired state, the question you ask yourself is, get me this u. Get me this u, which will take this initial state to a desired final state, wherein the initial state can be any random position in the state space, and the final state can also be any random position in the state space. If it is possible to transfer the states of the system from any initial state to any final state in the state space through this control input u, the system is said to be controllable. Are you getting me? What is a controllable system? Controllable system, simple terms में वो system है जिस system की हम dynamics control कर पाए. And dynamics को control करने का हमारे पास एक ही तरीका है, input के through. Control input change करके अगर हम system की dynamics को control कर पाते हैं as per our wish, then that system is said to be controllable and the property is known as controllability. Are you getting me? Yes.
Yes, sir.
सर कोई रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल है इसका कंट्रोलेबिलिटी का?
एग्जांपल ही तो सभी हैं. जैसे मान लीजिए आपके पास एक, मान लो एक let's say your parents are following your career. Okay, they want that after a particular time, after this instant, they are actually changing the inputs, they are actually applying different types of inputs and see कि 10th क्लास के बाद आपकी ये परसेंटेज आनी चाहिए, 12th क्लास के बाद, तो उन्होंने एक प्लान बना के रखा है और फाइनली उनकी डिजायर्ड स्टेट है दैट यू शुड एंड अप इन इंजीनियरिंग इंस्टीट्यूट. इज दैट क्लियर? सो इफ द सिस्टम डायनामिक्स, मैं जो एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ ये बहुत ही एक व्हाट यू कॉल इज अ रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल, बट we are actually taking very simplistic view when we are trying to model these systems. I am just trying to give you an idea about what do we mean by what is the initial state and what is the desired final state. Initial state can be any initial state from which you start, and the desired final state is that at the end of some time you must end up somewhere, let's say in IIT or NIT or somewhere else. So naturally a proper control strategy is to be applied, like control strategy in the form of proper tuitions, in the form of books and all that. So your parents are applying a proper control strategy for that, and if by the application of that control strategy your system ends up in a desired state which they had thought of, then you can say that the system is controllable. But mind it, we are talking about controllability of linear systems, whereas the example that I have given is a non-linear system. मान लीजिए आप एक मोटर की स्पीड कंट्रोल कर रहे हो, आप इनिशियल स्पीड आपके पास कुछ भी है, आप चाहते हो कि फाइनल स्पीड जो सिस्टम की है वो कोई भी डिजायर्ड स्पीड हो, आप किसी भी स्पीड पे इस मोटर को एडजस्ट, इसका जो स्पीड है वो एडजस्ट कर पाओ. In that particular case, you say that the system is controllable. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thanks.
So a controllable system is one whose dynamics can be controlled. LTI systems की केस में हमने जो इसकी डेफिनेशन है बहुत ही एक तरीके से हमने बहुत सारी restrictions डाल दी है सिस्टम पे. Restrictions in the sense we say that we should be able to start with any initial condition in the state space, and through the application of control input we should be able to end at any desired location in the state space. If we can do that, then we say that the system is controllable. Actual systems जो होते हैं, जो normal real life systems होते हैं, उसमें ऐसी controllability normally possible नहीं होती, because there are usually constraints. जैसे मान लो गाड़ी चला रहे हो आप, तो गाड़ी चलाते time you should be able to move up a slope, down the slope, in difficult terrains also, but you cannot climb the wall, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So there are normally constraints. लेकिन जब हम LTI systems की controllability define करते हैं, तो हम ये constraints हटा के देखते हैं कि क्या हम system को किसी भी initial state से किसी भी final state में ले सकते हैं in finite time. जरूरी है. You should be able to move from any initial state to any final state in finite time by the application of this control input UP. If you are able to do that, then the system is controllable. Mathematically speaking, if I give you some initial state and some final state and tell you to solve this equation, get me the value of u. I tell you that the initial state मान लो है x naught और final state, this is the initial state. The final state is xf. Okay, this is any initial state in the state space, this is any final state in the state space. मैं आपको एक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए देता हूँ और आपको बोलता हूँ कि इनिशियल स्टेट ये है, फाइनल स्टेट ये है, आफ्टर सम टाइम t is equal to 10 seconds, let us say. Get me the value of u. If you are able to solve this problem for any initial state and any final state, then the system is controllable. Is that clear?
Okay, sir. अगर सर u हम नहीं फाइंड कर पाए तो वो सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल नहीं होगा.
अगर हम u के लिए सॉल्व नहीं कर पाए तो वो सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल नहीं है. मींस हम एक ऐसा कंट्रोल इनपुट बना ही नहीं पा सकते हैं जिससे कि ये वाली फाइनल स्टेट अचीव हो स्टार्टिंग विद सम इनिशियल कंडीशंस।
Okay, sir, got it.
आर यू गेटिंग मी? सो सिंपल तरीके से, सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझना हो तो कंट्रोलेबिलिटी वो प्रॉपर्टी है सिस्टम की जो हमें ये इंफॉर्मेशन देती है कि क्या सिस्टम की डायनेमिक्स में अपने विश के हिसाब से, अपने डिजायर के हिसाब से कंट्रोल कर सकता हूं कि नहीं। इफ आई कैन डू दैट then the system will be controllable. If I cannot do that, then the system is uncontrollable. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is what we actually mean by controllability. This is the property of being controllable or uncontrollable is known as controllability. So a system on the basis of this controllability property may be controllable or uncontrollable. So physically I think you are able to, जैसे मान लो एक डोर खोल रहे हो, आप एक दरवाजा खोल रहे हो, अगर आप हैंडल पे अपना फोर्स लगाते हो so it is easy to open it. But if you try to open it near the hinge, जहां पे ये बंद है इसके साथ, दीवार के साथ, तो वहां पे डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा इसको खोलना, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It is sometimes it may be impossible to open it there, or even if you are able to open it, you'll have to use huge amount of energy to open it there. So basically controllability जो है ये इनपुट पे डिपेंड करती है, और इनपुट कभी-कभी इनपुट की लोकेशन पे भी डिपेंड कर सकती है कुछ सिस्टम्स में। जो नॉर्मली हम एलटीआई सिस्टम्स की बात कर रहे हैं उसमें तो वो तो सिंपलिस्टिक सिस्टम्स हैं, लेकिन जो एक्चुअल रियल लाइफ सिस्टम्स होते हैं उसमें अगर इनपुट की, उसमें कभी-कभी हमें सिस्टम की कंट्रोलेबिलिटी इंप्रूव करने के लिए maybe we may have to change the position of the input. Is that clear? So if some stupid fellow puts a handle near the hinge of the door, it will be difficult for him to open it, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
या अगर वो वहां पे उसको ओपन कर भी पाता है तो उसको जो एनर्जी जो स्टेट्स को कंट्रोल करने में लगेगी वो बहुत ज्यादा होगी। So controllability basically tells you some sort of information between the states and the input. If you are able to control the state vector by applying an appropriate input to the system as per your wish, you say that the system is controllable. जब हम controllability की property define करते हैं, we don't put any restriction on the path it takes from the initial position to the final position. We are just concerned about that starting with any initial position, are we able to reach the final state in finite time? In alag, finite alag. It's not infinite. Are you getting me? If you are able to move from any initial position in the state space to any final position in the state space in finite time by the application of an unconstrained control input ut, there is no constraint on ut. ut पे आपने कोई constraint नहीं रखा है कि ut का value इससे कम या इससे ज्यादा होना चाहिए. Normal physical systems में there usually are some constraints on ut, but we are trying to get a simplistic way of controllability. We are not putting any constraints on the value of ut. So if you are able to move the states of the system from any initial position to any final state in state space in finite time through an unconstrained control input ut, then the system is said to be controllable. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
सर
Yes, sir.
एसी कंट्रोलेबल सिस्टम होगा।
क्या होगा?
एसी जो होता है सर, एसी कंट्रोलेबल सिस्टम होगा।
एसी जो आपका टेम्परेचर कंट्रोल के लिए है?
ना सर, जो एसी, हाँ सर, ये रूम वगैरह का एसी,
एयर कंडीशन।
एयर कंडीशन
की बात कर रहे हो ना?
जी सर।
जो सिस्टम्स आप एक्चुअली फिजिकली यूज करते हो उसमें देखो, उसमें भी नॉर्मली जो फिजिकल रियल लाइफ सिस्टम्स होते हैं उसमें कॉन्स्ट्रेंट्स होते हैं फिर इनपुट पे. दीज थिंग्स आर इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इन द एंड, बट ऑन द होल इट्स अ कंट्रोलेबल सिस्टम, इजंट इट? सिस्टम की कंट्रोलेबिलिटी देखने के लिए आपने उसका मैथमेटिकल देखो, ये जो नोशंस में आपको कंट्रोलेबिलिटी है, इसके बाद में जो ऑब्जर्वेबिलिटी का नोशन आपको बताऊंगा, these notions basically are mathematical notions which have physical implications. We are trying to get an idea about the physical well-being of the system by understanding its mathematical problems, mathematical what you call properties. तो कंट्रोलेबिलिटी प्रॉपर्टी आपको ये इंफॉर्मेशन देती है कि क्या मैं किसी भी पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम को अपनी विश के हिसाब से कंट्रोल कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं. दिस इज ऑल एट एनालिसिस स्टेज. आप जो एसी की बात कर रहे हो, जब आप टेम्परेचर इसका चेंज करते हो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द कॉन्स्ट्रेंट्स दैट हैव बीन पुट इन इट, जैसे मान लो लिमिट्स होते हैं, आप उसका टेम्परेचर मान लो, यू कैन नॉट हैव एनी पॉसिबल टेम्परेचर विद द हेल्प ऑफ एन एसी, इजंट इट? That will depend upon the design electron कि उसको डिजाइन कैसे किया गया है, उसमें फिजिकल कॉन्स्टेंट्स क्या क्या हैं. लेकिन जब हम कंट्रोलेबिलिटी की प्रॉपर्टी मैथमेटिकली डिफाइन करते हैं, we don't put any constraints on the control input UT. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So now I am going to give you some definition of controllability, the proper mathematical definition of controllability. Controllability की definition. For a linear system, for a linear system given by this equation, x dot equal to x plus bu. Let me call this equation 1. For a linear system given by equation 1, if there exists an input, u, I represent it like this, 0, t1. I'll make you understand what this is. If there exists an input 0, t1, which transfers the initial state any initial state x0 defined at time t equal to 0 to the state x1, which is any final state in finite time. In finite time t1, the state x0 is said to be controllable. If all initial states are controllable, the system is said to be controllable. Otherwise, the system is uncontrollable. This input u0 t1 means input existing from time t equal to 0 to some finite time t1. If there exists some input u0 t1 which transfers any initial state to the state x1, to the desired state x1, to any desired state we can write, we must write. तो यहाँ पे मैं एक और word add करना चाहूँगा, exists an unconstrained. Unconstrained input ut, which transfers the initial state x0 to any state x1 in finite time t1, we say that that particular state is controllable. And if all initial states are controllable, then the system is said to be controllable. Otherwise, then पहले हमने state की controllability बताई कि state कब हम controllable बोलेंगे है when you can transform any initial state to the final state, we say that that particular initial state is controllable. And if that is true for all initial states, then we say that the complete system is controllable. Otherwise, the system is uncontrollable. यहाँ पे मैं which transfers any की जगह and क्योंकि मैं definition different तरीके से लिखी, which transfers an initial state x0 to any state x1 in finite time t1, the state x0 is said to be controllable. And if all initial states are controllable, the system is said to be controllable. Otherwise, the system is uncontrollable. This property of the systems is known as controllability. This property of the system is known as controllability. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
The definition is clear. So for a linear system which is given by equation 1 to be stable, if there exists an unconstrained control input ut which transfers any initial state to any final state in finite time using an unconstrained control input, the system is said to be controllable. Otherwise, the system is uncontrollable. Is that clear? तो दूसरे लफ्जों में मान लीजिए आपका सिस्टम इनिशियली अनस्टेबल है, लेकिन साथ में सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल है. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि इवन इफ द सिस्टम इज अनस्टेबल, I can alter the control input ut in such a way that I can make the system stable. So controllability is actually related to the concept of stabilizability. इसको हम बाद में देखेंगे. मैं थोड़ा सा आइडिया देने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं आपको. When I say that the system is controllable, if I can control the dynamics of the system as per my wish. So even if the system is unstable, I can make it stable because I can control its dynamics. Is that clear? That means I can even if the system initially is unstable, I can do something with the system to stabilize it because I have complete control over its dynamics. Had the system been uncontrollable, in that particular case, usually it will not be possible for me to stabilize it if initially it's unstable because I don't have complete control over its dynamics. So controllability की property आपको ये information convey करती है. जब आप ये देखते हो कि सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल है कि नहीं है, I will show you how to evaluate the controllability of a system using simple mathematical tools. If you are able to evaluate the controllability of the system and if you find that the system is controllable, then it will usually be possible that if the system is unstable, it will usually be possible for you to make its dynamics stable by making some alterations in the control input ut that you are applying to the system. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो अभी मैं ये जो कंट्रोलेबिलिटी और स्टेबलाइजेबिलिटी का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, इसको हम थोड़ा सा पहले कंट्रोलेबिलिटी को और थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे पहले हम. तो अभी हमने देखा कि मैं पहले फिर से स्टेट स्पेस पे चला जाता हूं. ये आपकी टू डायमेंशनल स्टेट स्पेस है, ये x1 है, ये x2 है. I take any initial state, any random initial state, and if I am able to go to any random final state, if this is the initial state, this is the initial state, this is final state. If I am able to move through the application of control input u, which I have denoted as u0 t1, where t1 is some finite time, if I am greater than 0, if I am able to apply a proper control input u and change and move this state vector from any initial state to any final state x1 in finite time t1, I say that the system is controllable, isn't it? I can put this definition alternately like this. For mathematical convenience, हम क्या करते हैं? We assume the final state to be the origin for mathematical convenience. That means starting with any initial state in the state space, if you are able to move to the origin of this state space in finite time, we say that the system is stable. उसका क्या मतलब हुआ? जैसे मान लीजिए मैंने पहले स्टेबिलिटी की डेफिनेशन आपको ये बताई, कंट्रोलेबिलिटी की, that starting with any initial state in the state space, if I am able to move to any final state in the state space by applying an unconstrained control input u, and if I am able to do it in finite time, I say that the system is controllable. But in order to get some mathematical convenience के लिए, I am actually redefining or putting the definition of controllability in a different format. Like, I assume the final state to be the origin. Like in this case, the final state is not the origin, but I can move these coordinate axes in such a way that the origin coincides with the final state. Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
Coordinate axis के में जो ये axes है, पहले I will move it parallel to itself so that this x-axis falls on this point. then I move this parallel to itself so that y-axis also coincides with this point. So then this point becomes the origin, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if I, for defining for mathematical convenience, I assume the final state to be the origin. So and then I redefine the concept of controllability. So what do? I say that for the sake of mathematical convenience, we assume the final state to be the origin of the state space. So then I can redefine the concept of controllability as, if I am able to move any random initial state in the state space by the application of appropriate control input to the origin, then the system is controllable. Are you getting me?
यस सर, बट सर ए और बी तो चेंज हो जाएगा ना जब हम सर इसको x1 ओरिजिन पे ले जाएंगे। ए एंड बी पैरामीटर, ABCD पैरामीटर तो चेंज हो जाएगा ना।
ABCD पैरामीटर्स ये जो मैंने बेसिकली हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कोऑर्डिनेट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस कर रहे हैं ना।
यस सर।
कोऑर्डिनेट पोजीशन स्टेट्स की चेंज नहीं ना होगी, स्टेट्स वहीं पे है, खाली हम रेफरेंस चेंज कर रहे हैं। रेफरेंस चेंज करने से स्टेट्स की पोजीशन चेंज नहीं ना हो रही है। मैं एक्चुअली ये मैंने आपको एज एन एग्जांपल समझाया कि ओरिजिन स्टेट स्पेस का कहीं पे भी लोकेटेड हो सकता है। मैंने आपको ये जो मैंने आपको बताया कि इसको हम शिफ्ट करेंगे, इसको शिफ्ट करेंगे ताकि इसका ओरिजिन स्टेट स्पेस के साथ कोइंसाइड हो जाए। ये मैंने आपको ये समझाने के लिए कहा कि ओरिजिन जो है स्टेट स्पेस का, ये कहीं पे भी हो सकता है। ये जो इसका कोऑर्डिनेट एक्सिस, रेफरेंस एक्सिस कहीं पे भी ले सकते हैं। दैट इज बेसिकली दैट सिमिलैरिटी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के थ्रू वही हम करते हैं ना। Your point is valid that in that particular case A and B matrices are going to change. Your system is going to have a different representation, although the state position will not change, only the reference is going to change, isn't it?
Yes sir.
तो मैं आपको जस्ट समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि आपका जो फाइनल स्टेट है इसको हम ओरिजिन मान सकते हैं just by changing the state vectors. Now forget about this, I am just redefining the concept of controllability like this, that starting with some जो आपकी state space है उसी को consider करो, starting with some initial position in the state space, any random initial position in the state space, if you are able to move to the origin in finite time, we say that the system is controllable. तो यहाँ पे जो मैंने फाइनल जो बता रहा था, फाइनल स्टेट आपका कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, it can be any random position. I am just trying to get some mathematical convenience by restricting it to the origin only. That means if I am able to move any initial state in state space to the origin in finite time, that will actually imply that I will be able to move to any final state which may not even be the origin in the state space, because the new state can always coincide with the origin. Are you getting me?
Yes sir.
ये हम बाद में देखेंगे कि कंट्रोलेबिलिटी की प्रॉपर्टी बेसिकली रेफरेंस पे डिपेंड ही नहीं करती है। जब मैं आपको कह रहा था कि हम स्टेट्स ये जो एक्सिस है इनको मूव करेंगे, तो बेसिकली हम सिमिलैरिटी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं ना। जब मैंने आपको यहाँ पे बताया था कि अगर फाइनल स्टेट नॉन जीरो है और मैं इसको ओरिजिन इसके साथ कोइंसाइड करने की कोशिश करूंगा, तो मैं इस x1 को इधर की ओर ले जाऊंगा, x2 को इधर की ओर लेके जाऊंगा। बेसिकली आई एम डूइंग सम सिमिलैरिटी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बिकॉज आई एम चेंजिंग द रेफरेंस, इजंट इट?
यस सर।
तो रेफरेंस चेंज करने से आप देखोगे बाद में कि जब हम सिमिलैरिटी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करते हैं तो कंट्रोलेबिलिटी की प्रॉपर्टी उस पर डिपेंडेंट ही नहीं है। जैसे कि स्टेबिलिटी की प्रॉपर्टी एक इनहेरेंट प्रॉपर्टी है सिस्टम की, इसी तरीके से कंट्रोलेबिलिटी प्रॉपर्टी भी एक इनहेरेंट प्रॉपर्टी है सिस्टम की, एक इम्प्लिसिट प्रॉपर्टी है सिस्टम की, जो कि रेफरेंस एक्सिस की पोजीशन पे चेंज नहीं डिपेंड नहीं करेगा। आर यू गेटिंग मी?
यस सर, गॉट इट।
So for the sake of mathematical convenience, we assume that the final state is the origin of the state space, and then we redefine the concept of controllability like this. For a system defined by equation 1 to be controllable, for a system defined by equation 1, if there exists an unconstrained control input U0T1, which can transfer or which can transfer any initial state x0 to the origin. That means final state is the origin in finite time t1, then the system is said to be controlled. Said to be controllable. Otherwise, it is uncontrollable. तो मैंने डेफिनेशन ऑफ कंट्रोलेबिलिटी रीफ्रेम की, और ये सेम ही चीज है, खाली ये मैथमेटिकल कन्वीनियंस के लिए हमने किया। मैथमेटिकल कन्वीनियंस के लिए हमने फाइनल स्टेट को ओरिजिन पे फिक्स कर दिया, एंड स्टार्टिंग विद एनी इनिशियल स्टेट, any initial condition of the any initial position of the state vector, if I am able to move to the final state, which is the origin, in finite time t1, then I say that the system is controllable. Otherwise, it's uncontrollable. So, what sort of mathematical advantage you get with this? You know that आपका जो x dot equal to ax plus bu है, जिसमें कि xt naught या x naught defined है at x0. What is the solution of this equation that we have obtained when we have solved this equation? What is xt equal to?
E raised power at x naught, sir.
E to the power at x naught plus integral of 0 to t e to the power a t minus tau b u tau and d tau, है ना? यही है ना solution इसका?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I take some final state. Let's say I actually apply the input from 0 to some time t1. So in that particular case, x I will get it. X at t1 will be equal to what? E to the power a t1 x naught plus integral of 0 to t1 e to the power a t1 minus tau b u tau d tau. मैंने इसको इंटीग्रेट किया, ये t1 थोड़ी, ये तो this is actually e to the power a t minus tau b u tau d tau. So I have integrated it from, so basically I have integrated it from 0 to t1. This is actually like this, e to the power a t minus a t x naught plus integral of 0 to t. तो मैं x1 जो है, जो मेरा फाइनल स्टेट है, ये वाला फाइनल स्टेट को मैं ओरिजिन मान रहा हूं। ये फाइनल स्टेट जो मेरा है, जब मैं कंट्रोलेबिलिटी की बात कर रहा हूं, आई एम टेलिंग स्टार्टिंग विद सम इनिशियल कंडीशन, इफ आई एम एबल टू मूव टू द ओरिजिन इन फाइनाइट टाइम बाय द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ एन अनकंस्ट्रेन्ड कंट्रोल इनपुट u tau, in that particular case the system is controllable. So the final state I am assuming it to be 0, isn't it? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So this is e to the power a t1 x naught plus 0 to t1. See here, this thing, ये जो e to the power, ये हम ऐसे थोड़ा सा इसको सिंप्लीफाई करने की कोशिश करेंगे। ये जब 0 हो गया ये वाला, so this I can move on this side, this one. So this is actually minus e to the power a t1 x naught is equal to integral of 0 to t1 e to the power a t1 minus tau b u tau d tau. So this is going to go, so this will actually become minus x naught is equal to integral of 0 to t1 e to the power minus a tau b u tau and d tau. Or x naught is going to become equal to minus integral of 0 to t1 e to the power minus a tau b u tau and d tau. तो ये मुझे जीरो बनाने का क्या फायदा आया? बस मैथमेटिकली मुझे थोड़ा सा कन्वीनियंट, आई गेट सम व्हाट यू कॉल कन्वीनियंट फॉर्मुलेशन मैथमेटिकली। तो अगर आप कोई पर्टिकुलर यू टाउ, अगर मैंने कोई इनिशियल कंडीशन आपको बताई और if you are able to solve this equation and get me some u tau, then that system is controllable. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So so this equation should have a solution for any random x naught. That's what is controllability. And solution of this equation is in terms of u. If I am able to solve this equation for any random x naught, I am able to get a solution of this equation, then that system will be controllable. तो आप देखो इस ये जो जीरो बनाने का ये फायदा है कि ये जो पूरा इक्वेशन है ये थोड़ा सा मैथमेटिकली कन्वीनियंट फॉर्म में है। दैट्स द ओनली रीजन, दैट्स व्हाई आई रोट इन द बिगिनिंग, फॉर द सेक ऑफ मैथमेटिकल कन्वीनियंस वी अज्यूम द फाइनल स्टेट टू बी द ओरिजिन। डू यू गेट मी?
Yes, sir.
और दूसरा जो मैंने आपको ये चीज भी आपको याद रखना है कि ये ट्रेजेक्टरी कौन सी फॉलो करेगा फाइनल स्टेट तक पहुंचने में, उस पर कोई कांस्टेंट नहीं है। ये कोई भी ट्रेजेक्टरी फॉलो करे, ओनली कंडीशन इज दैट इट शुड बी एबल टू रीच the state vector starting with any initial condition. It should be able to reach the origin by the application of appropriate control input u tau. If you are able to do that for any initial condition, if you can move to the origin, you say that the system is controlled. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay? Any problem with this?
नो सर।
Okay. तो अब हम कंट्रोलेबिलिटी सिस्टम की कैसे देखें? So there are some controllability tests for seeing whether the system is controllable or not. Otherwise, what you call brute force method से इसकी controllability देखना, it's not possible. Like, how many possible initial conditions are there in the state space, which I can start with?
Infinite, sir.
Infinite, isn't it? So shall I solve this problem for all infinite initial conditions and see whether u tau is there or not? Then I will say that the system is controllable. Is it possible? Is it possible to do that?
No, sir.
So it's not possible. So what do I do in that particular? How do I check whether the system is controllable or not? There are simple ways to assess the system controllability. I'll tell you. There are many controllability tests that will come. पहले मैं आपको सिंपल वाला एक टेस्ट बताता हूं जिससे आपको इजी हो जाएगा देखना कि सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबिलिटी है कि नहीं, जो मैंने एक बार थोड़ा सा मेंशन भी कर लिया था आपको। तो वी विल टॉक अबाउट कंट्रोलेबिलिटी टेस्ट्स। कंट्रोलेबिलिटी टेस्ट्स, आपके पास एक सिस्टम है x डॉट इक्वल टू ax प्लस bu। जैसे मैंने आपको कहा कि आउटपुट इक्वेशन इसमें पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करती है, इसमें वो आउटपुट की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं। वी आर ट्राइंग टू सी whether the state vector is controllable or not. We are not talking about the output at all. So you will see later on that the controllability just depends upon these matrices A and B. It doesn't depend upon C and D matrix. Is that clear? You have a system x dot equal to ax plus bu. I use some similarity transformation, and or forget about similarity transformation. I have to check whether the system is controllable or not. So how do I do that? एक सिंपल तरीका इसका ये है कि आप इस सिस्टम को डायगोनलाइज करो। क्या करना है सिस्टम को? You have to diagonalize the system. So diagonalize करने के लिए क्या करोगे आप? What is the diagonal form of A?
A transpose.
सिस्टम को डायगोनलाइज कैसे करते हैं?
P inverse, sir, I guess.
P inverse AP, not PAP, but P inverse A. है ना? So we will define a transformation x is equal to PZ. So which implies we define a transformation x is equal to PZ, where P is what? P is actually the eigenvectors of A stacked as columns, isn't it? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Where P is a matrix whose columns are the eigenvectors of A. Is that clear? So if x is equal to pz, that actually means that x dot equal to pz dot. क्योंकि P आपका कांस्टेंट मैट्रिक्स है। तो अगर मैं इसमें सब्स्टिट्यूट करूंगी, व्हाट विल आई गेट? Pz डॉट इक्वल टू A, x की जगह Pz plus Bu. Since P, we are assuming that my system is in fact diagonalizable. So in that particular case, P is going to be an invertible matrix. I pre-multiply it by P inverse. What do I get? Z dot equal to P inverse of APZ plus P inverse of BU. सही है? और Z dot will be equal to this P inverse of AP. This is delta Z plus P inverse of B. I call it tau U. Is that clear? Capital tau. Yeah. Delta is P inverse of AP. And what will be its structure like? It will be a diagonal matrix, isn't it? What will be along the diagonal?
Eigenvalue, sir.
You know, like this, lambda 1, lambda 2, so on, lambda n. यहाँ पे सारे जीरो, यहाँ पे सारे जीरो. ये जीरो की नीचे लाइन क्या मैंने बनाई है, मतलब ये सारे जीरोस हैं. It's not a single zero, it's all zeros there, isn't it? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And tau is actually P inverse of B. Is that okay? तो मैंने आपको डायगोनलाइजेशन का क्या एडवांटेज बताया था, हम सिस्टम को क्यों डायगोनलाइज करते हैं?
सर e raise power 80 हम सीधे इनको निकाल सकते हैं।
वो तो एक एडवांटेज है, और भी बहुत सारे एडवांटेज है ना इसके डायगोनलाइज सिस्टम को करने के। मैंने आपको कहा था कि जब हम सिस्टम को डायगोनलाइज करते हैं तो डायनेमिक्स डिकपल हो जाती है सिस्टम की। डिकपल्ड डायनेमिक्स, जब हमने वो ट्रांसफर फंक्शन को स्टेट स्पेस मॉडल से हमने ट्रांसफर फंक्शन से हमने स्टेट स्पेस मॉडल्स बनाए थे, तो तीसरा वाला जो हमने जॉर्डन्स कैनोनिकल फॉर्म बनाया था उसमें मैंने आपको कहा था कि जब आप सिस्टम को डायगोनलाइज करते हो तो डायनेमिक्स डिकपल हो जाती है। उसकी मैंने एग्जांपल भी दी थी। इनिशियली जो इक्वेशंस हैं जो जिसमें कि डायनेमिक्स जिसमें कि ए डायगोनल नहीं है, उसमें जो ये इक्वेशंस हैं इसकी दे आर ऑल कपल्ड, isn't it? Like let's take an example. You have got something like this: x1 dot x2 dot is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 5 x1 and x2 plus 1, 1 u और 1, 0 u। तो इसमें जो इक्वेशंस है, इक्वेशंस क्या आएंगी इसमें अगर मैं अलग अलग लिखूं, x1 dot is equal to x1 plus 2x2 plus u, isn't it? x2 dot is equal to 3x1 plus 5x2। ये दो इक्वेशंस आएंगी ना। These are coupled equations. What do you mean by coupled equations? x1 डॉट की इक्वेशन में x2 भी है और x2 डॉट की इक्वेशन में x1 भी है। तो अगर मुझे ये दो इक्वेशन सॉल्व करनी है तो मुझे साइमल्टेनियसली सॉल्व करनी पड़ेगी, isn't it? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
But when I diagonalize, what happens? When I diagonalize the system, something like this happens. Like z1 dot z2 dot equal to, you get an equation like this: -1, -2, 0 and 0, z1 and z2. And you'll have some entries of B also. Let's say the entries of B are 1 and 0 or 1 and 1 into U. तो इसमें इक्वेशंस क्या मिलेंगी आपको? z1 dot equal to -z1 plus U and z2 dot is equal to -2z2 plus U. Is that clear? These equations are decoupled. Why do I call them decoupled? Because z1 dot की इक्वेशन में खाली z1 है, z2 नहीं है इसमें, जबकि दो स्टेट वेरिएबल्स हैं z1 और z2। z1 डॉट की इक्वेशन में खाली z1 है और z2 डॉट की इक्वेशन में खाली z2 है। तो इन दो इक्वेशंस को मैं इंडिपेंडेंटली सॉल्व कर सकता हूं। इज दैट क्लियर? आर यू गेटिंग मी?
Yes, sir.
तो हम कंट्रोलेबिलिटी में हम क्या चीज देखने की कोशिश करते हैं कि क्या मैं इनपुट को चेंज करके स्टेट्स को इंडिपेंडेंटली कंट्रोल कर सकता हूं कि नहीं। Can I control all the states independently by changing the input? Then I say that the system is controllable. When I have decoupled the dynamics, so if this U term appears in each equation in separate. अगर दोनों इक्वेशंस में u टर्म है तो उस केस में u को चेंज करके मैं z1 को चेंज कर सकता हूँ, u को चेंज करके मैं z2 को भी चेंज कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि u इक्वेशन इसमें भी, u का टर्म इसमें भी है, u का टर्म इसमें भी है, because the dynamics is decoupled. So in that particular case, this u term being present in each individual equation will tell me whether that particular state will be controllable or not. This information will not be obtained if the dynamics is coupled. जैसे यहाँ पर है, यहाँ पे although x2 की इक्वेशन में u नहीं है, तो उससे मैं ये इन्फर नहीं कर सकता कि u का असर x2 पर नहीं पड़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि u, because these equations are coupled, u का इफेक्ट इस इक्वेशन पे इस इक्वेशन के थ्रू भी आ सकता है. Are you getting me? Do you follow me or not? जैसे यहाँ पे जो ये कपल्ड इक्वेशंस है ना, ये जो नॉर्मल इक्वेशंस है मेरी, जिसमें कि अभी मैट्रिक्स डायगोनलाइज नहीं है, अगर मैं u को चेंज करूं, क्योंकि इसमें कपल्ड इक्वेशंस है, तो कपल्ड इक्वेशंस की वजह से इस इक्वेशन का असर इस पे भी है और इस इक्वेशन का असर इस पे है, क्योंकि इसका सोल्यूशन इसमें आ जाता है, तो इसके सोल्यूशन के थ्रू u का इफेक्ट x2 पे भी आ जाएगा. आर यू फॉलोइंग मी और नॉट?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But in this case, when the dynamics is decoupled, this is an independent equation, this is an independent equation. So the presence of u term will clearly tell me whether that particular state is controllable or not. जैसे इस केस में जो मैंने ये एग्जांपल ली, इसमें u वाली टर्म दोनों में है, दोनों इक्वेशंस में है, दोनों सेपरेट इक्वेशंस में. दैट मींस दिस u को चेंज करके मैं z1 को भी चेंज कर सकता हूँ, u को चेंज करके मैं z2 को भी चेंज कर सकता हूँ. सो दैट मींस दिस सिस्टम इज कंट्रोलेबल. बट एज्यूम ए कंडीशन वेयरइन जब आपने डायगोनलाइज किया तो यहाँ पे ये वाला जीरो आया, लेट्स से, तो उस केस में इक्वेशन क्या बनेगी? z1 डॉट इक्वल टू माइनस z1 प्लस u एंड z2 डॉट इक्वल टू माइनस 2z2. सही है? u वाली टर्म इसमें है नहीं सेकंड वाली इक्वेशन में. तो चाहे मैं u के साथ कुछ भी करूं, कैसे भी चेंज करूं, z1 को मैं चेंज कर सकता हूं, लेकिन क्योंकि z2 वाली इक्वेशन में u है ही नहीं, so that means z2 cannot be changed at all. So that means this system is not controllable. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So what is the first controllability test that I have told you? Given a system, diagonalize it. Okay? तो डायगोनलाइजेशन के लिए कंडीशन क्या है कि उसमें आइगन वैल्यूज डिस्टिंक्ट होनी चाहिए. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
तो आइगन वैल्यूज अगर डिस्टिंक्ट है तो आप उसको क्लियरली डायगोनलाइज कर सकते हो. अगर आइगन वैल्यूज डिस्टिंक्ट नहीं है तो उसमें वो ब्लॉक्स बनते हैं, जो मैंने आपको असाइनमेंट दिया था, उसमें जॉर्डन्स ब्लॉक्स बनते हैं. डू यू रिमेंबर?
Yes.
तो उस केस में कैसे देखते हैं डायगोनलाइजेशन से, वो भी मैं आपको बताऊंगा. फिलहाल आप सिंपल वाला केस देख रहे हैं कि जिसमें एक्चुअली सिस्टम जो है डायगोनलाइजेबल है. तो डायगोनलाइजेबिलिटी के लिए कंडीशन है कि उसके जो सभी स्टेट आइगन वैल्यूज हैं वो डिस्टिंक्ट होने चाहिए. Or if the eigenvalues are distinct, you can actually make a matrix P which will diagonalize it. So when the system dynamics is decoupled after you diagonalize it, just by checking the entries of this tau matrix, tau जो है P inverse B जो है, इसकी एंट्रीज देख के आप बता सकते हो कि सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल है कि नहीं है. तो ये वाला जो tau वाला मैट्रिक्स है, इसकी एंट्रीज क्या होनी चाहिए थे अगर सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल हो?
Sir, 1 1.
1 1 जरूरी नहीं है, नॉन जीरो होनी चाहिए, है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Non-zero.
Non zero. Even if it is 3 and 2, that will also do. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But none of the entries should be zero. जो कोई एंट्री जीरो है, that means उसकी corresponding वाला जो स्टेट है वो uncontrollable है. है ना? Isn't it? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
तो इससे आपको एक तो ये इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है कि सिस्टम कंट्रोलेबल है कि नहीं है. वो तो आपको इस बी को देख के मिल जाएगी इंफॉर्मेशन. और साथ में ये इंफॉर्मेशन भी मिलती है कि अगर सिस्टम अनकंट्रोलेबल है तो कौन सा पर्टिकुलर स्टेट इसमें अनकंट्रोलेबल है. ऑल्दो ओवरऑल कंट्रोलेबिलिटी सिस्टम की सभी स्टेट्स की कंट्रोलेबिलिटी पर डिपेंड करती है. इट्स नॉट दैट सम सिस्टम्स आर partially controllable or fully controllable. There is no concept like that. But at least you can get an idea कि Z1 वाला जो स्टेट है इसमें कंट्रोलेबल है, Z2 जिसके कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग यहाँ पे एंट्री जीरो है, that particular state is uncontrollable. Is that clear? So if I give you a state space model and tell you कि बताओ ये system controllable है कि नहीं है, तो आप क्या करोगे?
So diagonalize. First we will diagonalize it.
We'll diagonalize it, and then after we diagonalize it, we will check the entries of this P inverse of P inverse B, or what we have called tau matrix. Is that clear? इसको tau को थोड़ा सा better तरीके से लिखते हैं so that it doesn't what you call you don't confuse it with 7. Okay. So tau matrix is actually equal to P inverse B. If all its entries are non-zero, then the system is controllable. If some of its entries is 0, one or more of its entries are 0, then the system is uncontrollable. Is that clear? This is the first controllability test for which you actually use for testing the controllability of a system. There are other simpler tests, but that will involve some mathematical background first. So I hope that you have understood what we have discussed today. You would need to revise, you would need to reconcile all this by revising these concepts at your places, and then get back to me in case you face some problem somewhere. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So वो जॉर्डन्स ब्लॉक्स का जो concept है वो याद है आपको, जिसमें कि आइगन वैल्यूज नॉन डिस्टिंक्ट हो, उसमें कैसी फॉर्मुलेशन आ रही थी इसकी डायगोनलाइज करने के बाद?
Yes, sir. उसमें वो सुपर डायगोनल्स आया करते थे उन ब्लॉक्स में.
नहीं, उसमें एक्चुअली जॉर्डन्स ब्लॉक बनता है ना, corresponding to the eigenvalue which is repeated. You get a Jordan's block.
Yes.
वो थोड़ा रिवाइज करो ताकि मैं नेक्स्ट क्लास में आपको वो वाली फॉर्मुलेशन भी बता पाऊँ. So just revise it at your places. What was the formulation that we are getting when the eigenvalues were non-distinct? In that particular case, you are not getting a pure diagonal form representation for the system. You are getting a Jordan's block form representation, जिसमें कि pure diagonal form representation possibly नहीं होती. Pure diagonal form representation खाली possible होती है when the eigenvalues are distinct. Is that clear? Clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So we will stop here, and in the next class we will take this concept a bit further. We'll talk about other tests for controllability. Now you can see the beauty of mathematics. The proper problem of controllability, which appeared to be a very difficult problem mathematically, an impossible problem to solve mathematically, we have got a simple mathematical solution for that, isn't it? तो अब बेसिकली ये वाला इस वाले कंक्लूजन से कि डायगोनलाइज करके आपने बोला कि बी की एंट्रीज में देखूंगा या टाउ की एंट्रीज में देखूंगा, उसकी बेसिस पे यू आर एक्चुअली टेलिंग मी दैट यू कैन एक्चुअली डिजाइन a control input U which can take the system from any initial state to any final state in finite time. Then that system is controllable. Is that clear? तो ये सिंपल सा टेस्ट को फॉलो करके आप सिस्टम की कंट्रोलेबिलिटी को उनके बारे में मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन बता सकते हैं. क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
So we'll stop here and we'll meet tomorrow again. Any query that you have, we still have some 5 to 6 minutes left. You can just ask me if you have any query. When you don't come up with any queries, I'll presume that you have understood everything and I'll stop. Thank you. Thank you all. You can leave the